I found the Norwex Superior Mop System, okay? All right, so I'm gonna back up a little bit here. One of the things that I like about this, obviously, is that it is adjustable. So it goes way up high and it goes way down. And I like that because with 4 little kids, you know, they can actually use it too. And in fact, my 2-year-old has grown up watching the older 3 boys, and even as the time that he started, you know, walking, he was just grabbing a hold of the mop system. And then of course it will adjust all the way up high, and so with the dry pad you can also, you know, get the cobwebs and things like that that, you know, you don't normally do very often. So you can just kind of go around like this, and you can even do the top of there, okay? All right, so hopefully you're able to see that. The other thing is, when you do use it for your floors, you do want to put it up to the height of your nose, and that will protect your back, and it's just ergonomically correct. And when you use it for your hard floors, I don't know if you can see, but I have a rug here that causes a lot of small dust particles, and I wish I could zoom in. But when you use it, you want to use it as a figure 8. So I'm going to kind of show you how I do it. And I have a few spots, and I actually might bring the camera over here. So basically, I'm just kind of going around and maneuvering it so that it's in a figure 8. Of course, you can get under here. Okay. Now, what you'll find is that with the vacuum cleaner, what the vacuum cleaner, you know, typically helps you with is to get a bunch of the hair, a bunch of the dust, a bunch of the small things that you really can't see that are on your floors. And that is what the Norwex Superior Mop System does, except the difference is that it actually holds on to it, so that it, you know, with the vacuum cleaner, it actually ends up going into the air some and blowing out, so then you're breathing it in. So what I love about the Superior Mop Dry Pad here is that it works like that microfiber cloth that I was telling you about on episode 1. So if you haven't checked that out, it talks about the EnviroCloth and how that works, dry or wet. But when it's dry, it's similar to this pad. So it just holds on to all the dust, it clings to it. Now the things like Cheerios, it'll just go in the front of your pad as you're maneuvering it in a figure 8. So then you take the rubber brush, let's see, okay. So then you take your rubber brush and you're gonna brush it really into the trash can. But as you are using the rubber brush, what it's actually doing is it recharges the dry pad, so the microfiber. And that's how the microfiber works for dusting, okay? It actually works off the it's, you know, statically charged. So when you do that to the pad with the rubber brush, it also recharges the pad so that it works for the next time. All right, so then what you want to do afterwards is you're just going to take your EnviroCloth and you can pick up all of the stuff like that. And then this can just go into the trash can. And you can just dump it into the trash can, okay? All right, so the one part that I really, really love that I was telling you about is how this mop system then saves you having to be on your hands and knees. So this is Velcro, so I just take off the dry pad and then you put on the wet pad, okay? All right. So what you want to do is, if you have like more of the darker wood, you don't want to completely immerse the wet pad in a lot of water, because what happens is you'll have more streaks. So you don't want to use much water on this. In fact, I just kind of go around and have a water bottle, and I would suggest you using it just with water and just spraying the floor around it, and then just using the pad and wiping, okay? But if you are going to wet just a little bit of the pad, what you do is you just wet it a little bit and then just take it, wring it out as much as you can, or even just a corner of it and wringing it out like that. So just, you have to try it on your floors, but I would suggest if you have the darker floors that you don't wet the pad, you just use the spray bottle. All right, so I'm just gonna pretend that I have the darker, and I don't know if you can tell, but I actually have a spot right here. So I'm just going to, so that's more of a tougher spots, but you can just then mop with this. I love it because it dries very, very fast, super fast, 30 seconds. And if you have some of those tough spots, then you can just use your foot to get it out, okay? And I'm going to leave a little bit here so that I can then take a picture. All right, so that's all you would do. All right, so what I also love about it is, one, it does dry off very fast, so it'll take like 30 seconds. But you don't use any harmful chemicals, like you don't use any chemicals at all. So even if somebody was to step on it, it wouldn't be sticky because you don't have that chemical residue that's left behind. So I love that. It does have a 2-year warranty, so you end up getting the mop system at half the cost, because now you don't have to spend on like those dry pads, like the dusting pads that we normally would get, or even the mop pads, right? You would have to like replace those. And I spent a lot of money, $75 a month, not just on that, but all of my household like cleaners and paper towels and toilet paper, of course, that was included in there. But I ended up spending a lot on the dry pads and the wet pads. So that was a big bulk of it. So you end up saving half the cost just with even just the 2-year warranty. So I love that. It leaves everything streak free. You can use it on floors like the wood, laminate, vinyl, even tile. So it's perfect for that. Saves you time, saves you money, it dries quickly. And now, in comparison to like a steamer, for example, I've had some customers use do half their floors with a steamer and then half the floors with the Norwex Superior Mop system, and they could tell like the difference that it left just on their floors by being able to use the Norwex Superior Mop system. So I highly recommend it. I love it, and a lot of people actually recommend it.